Welcome to the 10 Forward Lounge. Please follow me. We reserved a table just for you.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy, its taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty.
Welcome back to the 10 Forward Lounge podcast. I am your host, I am Greg, and with me, my gorgeous co-host, this is Catherine.
Hi.
And we are in a much better mood this time, because last time we did this was about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And we did Logan, which was depressing all as hell.
The movie tore us up.
It took a while. Like, I was in therapy for a couple weeks. Like, it was, no bueno.
Really took its toll on us.
But we are back with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We just saw this yesterday, and we were stoked as shit.
Yes, that was so much fun.
It was, okay, so there's always that thing with sequels where that doesn't live up to the original.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't feel like this one quite lived up to the first one, but it's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong in that, or?
No, and it's never going to top the first one. It's, you want it to be a good follow-up, but I enjoyed it, but I think they could have done a little bit better.
I think they could have. Okay, let's start off real quick. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, starring Chris Pratt. This is Zoe Saldana.
Chris Pratt.
She was drooling through the whole movie, folks. Michael Rooker, who's amazing in everything.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, and this is written and directed by James Gunn. And I thought, okay, now I thought this was fun. I don't know if it was as fun as the first one.
I thought it was. It relied a lot more on humor than the first one.
There was a lot more jokes, and I don't know if they, like, all of them landed. Not with me, anyway.
Yeah, I feel like a couple of them were kind of pushing it. They were really going for the laughs, but it didn't quite get what they were going for.
Okay, so in this one, this is Star-Lord's movie. This is Peter Quill's movie, because as the trailer's revealed, we meet his dad. It's Kurt Russell, and I kind of hated that in the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought they gave that away too soon. Like, I thought that was something that should,
be a complete surprise in the movie.
Right. It should have been, a big reveal at the end. Turned out, no, this was the beginning of the movie. This is in the first act.
Him and his flying egg.
he got his egg from the planet Orc. And I just kept thinking, I was like, he's Mork from Orc. Holy shit. But, no, so, we start off with CGI Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Which
Because
always...
he looks way younger and too good to be true.
That's actually what Kurt Russell looks like when he was younger.
Oh, true,
like, I was telling you the other day about...
He was a real pretty boy.
He really was. If you've ever seen the movie Best of Times, it's about a football team from Taft, of all places. And Robin Williams plays this wide receiver who, the town sucks. If you've ever been to Taft, that's not a stretch.
Yeah, absolutely true.
And the only thing this town had going for it was its high school football team. Get down to the championship game. The pass is thrown. Robin Williams is about to make the game-winning interception and drops the ball.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he has to live with that for the next 20 years. And then at the end of the movie, or not toward the end of the movie, but towards the whole premise of the movie is, fuck it, we're going to play that game all over again. And so if it's a great movie. If you ever get a chance to check it out, it's awesome. I already have it ordered on Amazon because I can't believe I don't already own it. Mm-hmm. But no, but that's exactly what Kurt Russell looked like in that movie. So when I saw him driving his little Camaro, I'm going like, oh shit, it's Best of Times Kurt Russell. So yeah, but so it starts off, you see, this is no secret that
you
this is...
You see him and you see his mom.
Right, this is no secret that this is, Star-Lord's dad, because he shows him on Earth. It shows him like, oh look, he planted this alien plant, and he's telling his girlfriend at the time, what ends up being later on his wife and Star Lord's mom, Peter Quill's mom. I've planted these all over the universe, and they're going to grow, and they're going to inhabit every reach of the universe. So it's no secret that this is Star Lord's dad.
But you still have no idea what this plant is.
No, that's true. You have no idea what this plant is. He's just telling you he's planting it. And then we, smash cut to the beginning of the movie, the opening credits, where the Guardians are holding off this giant squid with teeth.
Yeah, it's giant octopus with like 10 rows of teeth, and it spits out like acid shit. It's just all over the place. Doesn't it shoot fire too?
It was really hard to get a grip on that opening scene, but I mean, obviously,
There's a lot going on.
Right? The Guardians they were hired to protect this thing, and you have
they have these batteries that they have to protect.
Right, they have the batteries,
extremely valuable.
Right, and so this was basically an excuse for the opening credits and to watch Baby Groot dancing.
It was adorable. While you have this awesome montage going in the back of everybody just getting their ass whooped by this giant squid trying to take it out.
Drax is getting thrown around. Rocket's he's just firing at anything.
And everybody's like, Groot, get out of the way. You're going to get hit. And then they get, swept up by this thing again. And he's just dancing.
He's just dancing. He's being Baby Groot.
And the music in this movie is phenomenal yet again.
Yes, they knocked out of the
Classic.
park with a soundtrack on this one.
Yes, I loved it. I liked it more than the first one. And the first one was kick-ass.
And so we find out that this race has hired the Guardians to protect these batteries that control their whole society. And, of course, Rocket, being Rocket, he just steals a couple of them.
Yeah. They're getting paid and everything, but he steals them just to do it.
Okay, so now he has pissed off an entire race of people.
Who think very highly of themselves.
Yes.
And you really don't want to fuck with them. It's not hard to upset them.
They are very pissed off, and basically
And then he insults them, too.
Yeah, he did. What did he say? I thought you guys would be. I heard you guys were arrogant douchebags.
Yeah.
So Rocket's being Rocket, and he pisses off this entire species, who have then decided that they are going to kill them.
Send out their entire army.
They sent out an entire fleet.
And if you like Galaga, you'll like this movie.
We're in theaters, and she's going, "Is that Galaga? Do they have the Galaga sound effects?" And sure as shit, they have the Galaga sound effects.
The way they do it is it's like flying a drone. They have their spaceships that are out fighting, and all of their soldiers are in one room together, and it's all virtual. And
they're all remote piloted. They're all drones.
Exactly. So they don't have to worry about dying. They just have to worry about losing their ships. But every time they shoot, it's the Galaga sounds, and it's fucking awesome.
And so they're outnumbered. They're gonna die. It's like 50-1, and all of a sudden you just see like every ship get destroyed.
Yeah, all at once.
Right, and Rocket sees something off the side.
A 1-inch man.
Yeah, he sees a 1-inch man riding an egg, going, well, he looked an inch, but maybe if we got closer, that he'd be a lot taller.
And they're like, yeah, that's how sight works.
We didn't get a lot of... See, that's one... I have a kind of nitpick about this movie, which was we didn't get the team aspect that we got in the first one.
Well, everybody's kind of mad at each other. Gamora and Peter have their quiff going on. And
they're Sam and Diane from Cheers,
Yeah.
like they reference in the movie.
And then Rocket's he's just being an asshole to everybody as much as possible. And they reference that a lot.
And Drax is he's just there for the fight. Like, I mean, he doesn't really have a problem with anybody. He's just living life being Drax.
Drax is Drax. He's adorable, as crazy as he is in this movie.
Drax is that buddy we all have that has no filter.
No.
He just says whatever's on his mind, and he could say the most asshole-ish thing, and you can't be mad at him.
No, you still love him.
He's just being honest. And so the 1-inch man turns out to be Peter's father. Ends up being Ego.
How much of this do we want to spoil? That's the question.
Okay, before we get into this, folks,
we could
spoiler
really go
warnings.
into this.
We normally do the spoiler warning way ahead of this,
We
but
do,
I got a
we
little
do.
carried away. So, spoiler warning: if you don't want to be spoiled, you don't want to know how this happens, turn this off now.
You're probably gonna get pissed because you got really into this, and you're like, "Fuck, I've already listened to this far in, so I just want to listen to it." But yeah, you're gonna regret.
Yeah, go turn it off. Go watch Guardians of the Galaxy and come back. Listen to the rest of this. But we end up meeting Ego. He is a Celestial who is Peter's father. So we find out that Peter's half god.
And his father has been around for millions of years and started out as
Is a floating brain.
yeah, pretty much.
Basically, he's just a floating brain that built a planet around himself. And so Peter now knows, like Peter's lived his entire life not knowing who his father is, and you find out his father is Kurt Russell. His father is a Celestial. He finds out he's half god. And so at first he's not
Half
trusting.
god, meaning that as long as his father and the light lives on, he's immortal.
Right. And so he's now he has the daddy who's always wanted. You know, he's always wondered who his father was. He now has that. Took him a while to warm up to the idea, but
Yeah, he didn't want to believe it at first.
right. And it was Zamora of all people who tells him, like, you should accept this. What if this is true?
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on it because you're questioning it, but just go for it. And they even give you the super happy-go-lucky moment where they play catch together.
Which is what he was talking about. He was talking about playing catch with his dad, but
Yeah,
also
I never got the chance to play catch with my dad.
I always wanted that. I used to carry around a picture of David Hasselhoff in my wallet and tell kids that was my
Amazing.
dad. It was
And that he was off on tour in Germany.
with his band, and he was driving a car that talked. And
Yeah.
the Hasselhoff cameos in this movie are fucking amazing.
They
are
are.
so great. Even had Hasselhoff in the Knight Rider leather jacket and the jeans. It was, oh my god, I was 9 years old. It was great. I geeked out. But it was kind of okay. So again, we don't get the team dynamic because we
No.
have Drax and Peter and Zamora over on Ego's planet, and we have Yondu. I'm sorry. We have Rocket and Groot and Nebula, Zamora's sister,
Who they got in return with pay from
for helping out and guarding protecting the batteries and
the bitchy golden people.
right. But they're hunted down by Yondu and the other Ravagers.
They go put a warrant out for them.
Right. And so again, we have the team kind of splintered up a little bit. So I again, it didn't quite sit well with me, but okay. I mean, we've established the team in the first movie. We know who they are, and now we kind of give them their own moments. I'm okay
go
with
more
that.
in backstory. I liked it.
Right. We got a lot into who Drax was and who Rocket was.
Yeah, they dip into all of their pasts. I liked it. I'm glad they didn't try to redo the first one and, give it just the same team feeling throughout the whole thing.
Right. And like I said, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence because you think Guardians of the Galaxy and you think of the team. You think of this team of misfits.
Well, they've been through some shit after, by that point. And so they have their ups and downs. And I like that the first one shows them, getting together and building and becoming this team. And then you assume, okay, between the first one and the second one, it's evolved. They've done all these adventures together and they've been through their shit. And it shows them realistically at this point, they're not always going to get along together.
I did like the bickering though.
Yes, that was
did like
fantastic.
when Peter and Rocket are going back and forth between piloting the ship and I've been flying the ship since I was 10. I was genetically engineered to pilot this ship.
And then Gamora is just telling him that you need to stop flying the ship with your dicks and start flying with the other heads. And they crash.
I did probably the greatest line in the movie where it was Peter calling him Raccoon.
Oh my god.
And he goes, "Don't ever call me Raccoon. Don't you ever say that." And Peter just, "I'm sorry, Rocket. That was too far. I meant Trash Panda."
Oh my god, it was amazing. He just
I
fucking
laughed-
freaks out on him.
I laughed so hard at Trash Panda.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. Just Trash Panda.
There was a lot of jokes like that. There was Trash Panda. There was your triangular faced monkey friend.
Yeah, they called him Fox a couple times.
Can I pet the puppy?
Yeah. And then Drax tells her, yes, pet the puppy. And she makes that mistake.
And so, I mean,
We didn't introduce her.
we did not. Okay, so we have Mantis, who is really fucking adorable.
She is. She's
I-
super adorable. She's her own species that Ego picked up when she was a larva and raised her on, on his planet. That is him.
He basically raised a companion.
Mm-hmm.
He was
And she helps him sleep.
right. She's empathic, and she feels people's emotions.
And she can alter them.
She can alter their emotional state, and then for some reason she helps Ego sleep. Like, that part was never really understood.
They didn't explain, like, okay, why does he need you to help him sleep? They don't give any backstory to that.
It was I kind of felt like they threw that in because they were going to use it later. You know,
Like, they needed some reason to put Mantis there with him, and they didn't have a good enough one, so they just threw that in.
right, but Mantis had her moments. Like, even
did.
she
I liked her.
she was a great character. She was just
I like that she has her own powers. She's her own stand-up character. She's not just a background character.
right. She was Anya from Buffy, or she was Data in Star Trek. She was just a character who didn't get humanity. Like, she's around humans. She's not used to this.
Yeah, she didn't understand the emotions or the way that Drax would describe her. You know, when he would call her ugly, and she would be like, "Thank you,"
You're not ugly. You're really beautiful.
on the inside.
On the inside. On the outside, you're horrendous. Like,
I love Drax. Drax is
Drax
fantastic.
is such a dick, but you can't dislike him. He's awesome.
One of my favorite scenes is when Mantis is reading Star-Lord and seeing what he is feeling at the moment, and he's romantically in love with Gamora and sexually in love and all that, and then she touches Drax and just starts fucking dying, and they're both just laughing and making fun of Star-Lord at the same time.
Right, because, I mean, she just let it out of the bag. Like, oh my god, you're in love with her. Like, you
Yeah.
have... And there's just a moment of silence, like, you know the joke is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just this belly laugh from Drax, like, oh my god, she just told your deepest, darkest secret. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And then, do me.
Yeah. She touches him and they both just start laughing. And then she tries to touch Gamora to see what she's feeling. Gamora's not fucking having that.
No, Gamora's like, I will rip your hand off. Get away from me.
Yeah, she grabs by the wrist like, don't you fucking touch me.
So, I mean, I liked Mantis. I thought... I'm glad that they didn't just introduce this character for the hell of it.
Yeah, she had a purpose. I think she's gonna have a good purpose in the next movie as well. But her and Gamora end up finding some dark secrets, and she's trying to tell Drax things, and she actually has a point in the movie.
Right. So, I mean, where we are now is that Peter has now, after a while, he's embraced that Ego's his father. And he's trying to find out everything he can about him, and we find out that he's a Celestial, he's immortal, and which makes Peter immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this seems too good to be true. And
He shows him, by tapping him on the forehead, he shows him his plan. And Star-Lord's kind of dazed by it. It's a lot to take in.
right, and okay, I kind of thought this was a bit of a dick move, because Gamora, she was like, okay, well, what if this is your dad? You need to embrace this and don't be afraid of it. And Peter, of all people, is like, no, what if, I've had a lot of shitty shit happen, and I'm not gonna fall for this. And she just stays on him. So finally he opens up and he embraces Ego as his dad. And then she tells him, wait a minute, something's not right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of thought that was a dick move. Like, Gamora's sitting there like,
Do it. Wait, now something's wrong.
right. And Peter's a little bit pissed because he's going like, wait, you were the one who told me.
Yeah, what are you doing now? Like, what am I
Right. So
supposed
he
to
basically
do?
tells Gamora to shut the fuck up. And she goes off on her own, and she's just like, something's not right, and Mantis is trying to tell Drax, there's something I need to tell you. And
So
here comes
she
Gamora.
goes after. Yeah, she goes after her.
Right, and I didn't. Okay, this is the part I didn't understand was, you can tell Drax what's wrong, but you can't tell Gamora and Drax.
Right? That part didn't quite make sense.
It was
I
just,
feel like she just trusted Drax a lot more. And Gamora was like, even though she wanted Star-Lord to go and be like, oh, go with your father, you know, you don't want to miss out on this. But then something just doesn't feel right. So she doesn't trust them both at the same time.
right,
it's
and
kinda backwards.
maybe, I mean, her and Drax and Mantis had a better connection. Like, she
Yes.
actually read Drax.
Mm-hmm.
She knows, who this is. And Gamora, she couldn't read Gamora. Gamora's like, do not touch me. So I don't know if maybe if that was why, because she had this connection to him already.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just telling him, like, I need to tell you something. I need to tell you something. But she won't do it in front of Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
And Gamora is off on her own. She gets attacked by Nebula, her sister.
Mm-hmm.
There's this giant fight to the death. And they end up... It's pretty much like every Mexican family fight I've ever seen. You beat the piss out of each other, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we're good. That was every family reunion I ever went to. Somebody got in a fight, punches were thrown, then later on you're like, okay, all right, you want a beer?
Okay,
Let's get a beer.
we're good.
Yeah, you're Irish. I'm sure you've seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
And they're looking around the planet, and they find this graveyard of bones.
Yes, this huge pile of bones. All these different species. And they're like, okay, where the fuck did these come from? What is going on? There's some dark secrets going on here.
And so they rush back, and that's when Gamora attacks Mantis and says, what were you going to say? What's going on here? Mm-hmm. And that's when Mantis finally comes clean, and she says, Ego is Peter's father, but he's going to use Peter to conquer the entire universe. And so now we find out that this fatherly figure that Peter's been looking for is just using Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good chance he's going to kill Peter in the process.
He just needed him for his genes. He went out and pretty much fucked all these different species.
Right.
And he was just trying to fuck as many species as possible and get his genetics out there. And none of them worked. None of them could hold they didn't have the genes that he needed. The celestial genes.
Right.
Passed
And
on.
so he ends up killing all of his children. Like thousands and thousands of children.
So yeah, this guy's really fucked up.
So, and now we have...
I think they made it Kurt Russell, so you'd be like, oh, it's Kurt Russell, I love this guy. And then you're like, oh shit, he's a baby killer. It's hard to hate him, but I really have to now.
Right, because you think Kurt Russell, you think Big Trouble in Little China, you think, he's always played like these lovable, character roles.
You've never hated Kurt Russell.
Right, but if you've ever seen Tombstone, Kurt Russell's a scary dude when he has to be.
Oh, yeah. But I really like that they did that they took a lovable actor and gave him such a despicable character.
Right, it's,
we haven't even got to the worst part of what he's done.
Oh, no, we haven't. So
It's really fucked up.
So, one thing Peter's been hung up on this whole time is, why did you leave my mother? Why did you leave my mother?
He keeps saying, she was the love of my life. I loved her. And he had to come back. If he didn't return to his planet every so often, he would wither away and he would turn... What? Would he turn into
die.
immortal? Or would he die?
He had to periodically return to his planet or he would die.
Okay.
But Peter keeps telling him, like, why did you leave my mom? Why did you leave us? We were alone. I had to watch my mom die, which from the first movie, we know that that's a huge thing for Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he watches mom die of brain cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ego is saying that, no, I loved your mom and she was the love of my life and all these people I met, all these life I encountered, she was the one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells him, he's like, it killed me to do what I had to do. And we're thinking that it was, he had to never see her again.
Yeah, to leave.
And he's telling Peter, he's like, I loved her, but that was not my place. It wasn't my place to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's leading us down this, it killed me to have to leave your mom. And then he says it. It killed me to put the tumor in her brain. And that's when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, he was completely like days before. He has the universe in his eyes still, and the moment he hears that, he completely snaps out of it and is like, "What the fuck did you do? You loved my mother and you put a tumor in her head and you killed her, and then I had to watch her die?" And he just fucking immediately tries to kill him.
Peter just goes straight Sylvester Stallone in Expendables. Like, he just grabs his guns and just opens fire.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom.
He's
boom.
just,
fucking destroys him.
He's like, fuck this guy. I am killing him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when we learned that, no,
Yeah, he shot him all over and he just regenerates.
right. But that's when we learned that Ego, not the loving father that he played. No, he's a dick. He
that was all
these...
just to get him close, to draw him in, so that he could tell him his plan and get him.
I didn't take it that way. I kind of took it like Ego was telling him this, thinking, okay, Peter's on board. And then he's justifying, like, well, I couldn't see your mom, so I had to kill her. Mm-hmm. Thinking Peter was just going to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah.
Well, because before that, he was being like, oh, this plan is amazing, but what about my friends? And he's like, okay, this is what you need to accept. They are temporary. They aren't going to be around forever. You are going to be around forever. So you need to accept that and get past it and, just get used to that. And he doesn't want to do that.
And he's telling him that this is the mortal side of you. It will pass. And you're an immortal, you're a celestial. Basically saying that you are beyond this. And that's what he tells him, like, it killed me to have to do that to your mom. It killed me to put the tumor in her brain and just...
He really didn't seem that, torn up about it.
Right, he didn't seem like he was that upset.
Yeah. It killed me. You'd be crying.
And then we get that final battle scene, between Ego and...
Which was cool, but I didn't like the one part we talked about. Where it was, they take the rocks and they can pretty much, if they think it, they can create it with matter.
They can control the planet and the environment. And
so they become these giant rock creatures, and Ego just becomes a giant ego, and...
Peter becomes Pac-Man.
Which is awesome, but I really didn't feel like the joke fit at that time. It
really
just really
didn't.
Seemed funny.
Off.
Not funny.
We end up coming back to this movie was based on, there was so much humor propping up this movie. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that joke in and of itself is pretty damn funny.
But the placement was so off.
Right. Again, like I said forever, the comedy's in the delivery. It's in the timing and the delivery.
Exactly.
And you throw that joke into that battle scene, like right in the middle of this intense, like, climactic fight scene.
Yeah. Like,
and
I put a tumor in your mom's head. Pac-Man joke.
Waka,
like,
waka, waka.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, it did.
Who came up with that?
Right. It didn't fit. Again,
I get they mentioned Pac-Man earlier, but that was just not the right
Right.
time.
And again, it's a funny joke in and of itself, but the placement just took you out of the fight scene.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a lot of the Doctor Strange fight scene at the end. There's a lot of shit going on. It's very CGI heavy, and you're just kind of like, oh wait, hold on, what? This is sensory overload. What the fuck's going on? But we get toward the end, Peter has to kill his dad, and the only way to do it was to kill the light at the center of the planet.
Yeah, Mantis tells them that.
Right, and that's where the sleep thing came in. Like, they finally paid it off there for some reason. Like, she puts the whole planet to sleep. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't know how long she can hold it. That was another joke from the trailer, where she's on all fours.
And she's trying to...
Right, and that piece of rock hits her. And there's a good, 3 Mississippi, and Drax yells, "Mantis, look out!" It was funny in the trailer. That was really funny in the trailer. But placed where it was...
Yeah.
It didn't fit there. It
didn't fit. I feel like they do that for the trailer more than the actual movie in itself.
Right. At the same time, though, you could have cut that scene out. Like you could have easily cut that scene out of the actual movie, just left it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the humorous moment the trailer needed at that point. It didn't make any sense in and of the fight scene.
Yeah.
So, but now it's down to the whole team has to depend on baby Groots.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Adorable baby Groot that they gave him the bomb and told him, okay, you got to flip these 2 switches and there's 2 other buttons. The first one gives you 5 minutes of time. The second one blows it up immediately. And Groot keeps wanting to push the second button.
Peter's telling him, is like, we can have Groot plant the bomb. And Rocket, oh, that is such a bad idea. And then we just keep coming back to Rocket going, we're going to die.
Yeah.
He's going to kill us all. Okay, one joke that did work for me was the tape joke.
Yes, I liked that.
Does anybody
one.
have some tape? I'm going to put some tape over the death button. Peter, you have any tape? Rocket, why would I have tape? Well, could you ask somebody?
So he starts flying around
Right, and
asking
we
buddy,
get-
asking
we
everybody.
get 3 minutes of, hey, Drax, do you have any tape? No. Gamora, do you have tape? No, I don't have any. Rocket, we don't have any tape. Did you ask Nebula? Well, ask Gamora. Gamora's right there next to her. I knew you didn't ask Nebula. That joke just kept going on. I'm like,
But
all right,
they didn't kill it though. I liked it.
all right, I'll give you that one. That was pretty good. It was just the search for tape over the death button.
It wasn't like Family Guy where I feel like they really drag out jokes and just kill the shit out of them. It was tasteful
Yeah,
yet long.
Family Guy will just beat a joke over the head forever, and it's. I haven't watched Family Guy in years because of that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It was funny at the beginning, and then you're just hammering these. And Guardians didn't do that. Like,
Thankfully.
right? I mean, Guardians. I will say this: some of the jokes weren't oddly placed,
Yeah.
but they hit the joke, moved on,
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably the best thing. Like, okay, joke
I
didn't
hate
work.
when they keep coming back to it over
Right.
and over, hitting the same joke. They did variants on jokes, or they would reference the same thing, but that was fine with me. It was a different joke. It was good still.
Okay, so I mean, now you have to kill Peter's father,
Yes.
and
Baby Groot is on his little way. He's doing his adorable thing. And one thing, they showed his brain as a human brain. And I didn't really like that. I thought that his center, his core, could have been something. I mean, because if he was a god and he wasn't created in the form of a man, his center wouldn't have been the brain of a man. It could have been just like a white ball. It could have been a white core or something. And that would have been more mysterious
right
and fitting.
I think it was something visual, like
Yeah.
something you need to make a choice.
Maybe it was so that kids could identify what it was.
Well, I think it was just for the audience in general. Like
Yeah.
you need to, because we didn't see it up until that point. We saw it briefly when he's describing how he came to be, and then it moved on.
And there's no face for Ego at this point. Ego has been gone for a good while.
Right, and that was
When he goes from his human form to just the earth form, and that's him. And you're just they'll show his face in like the rocks and everything sometimes, but it doesn't always give you somebody to view as the enemy.
Right, and it's been compared to the alternate ending from Blade, when Stephen Dorff disappears when he's inhabited by Lamagra, the blood god, and he turns into this giant blood hurricane.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to hate a blood hurricane.
I mean, you get this charismatic actor like Stephen Dorff or Kurt Russell in this instance, and during the climactic fight scene, you take that actor away. Like, I've never understood that, and I think it was kind of a bad call at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But they went with it. It didn't work. They'll probably never do it again.
Probably not.
But so we get, oh God, what was Yondu's buddy?
We don't know.
Sean Gunn.
They don't. They never even say his name. I don't think. They have a whole unmemorable, except for one dude, band of pirates. Yeah, fucking Taserface. They just make fun of his name.
That
That's
was
the
joke.
only one that they hammer.
That was the only joke that they kept coming back to was Taserface.
It wasn't bad, but that's the only reason that you even remember these pirates. We hadn't mentioned them until now, and they'd been there a lot longer than now.
Well,
We
I mean,
mentioned when they came
you
and
missed,
up
you
to the
missed this
rock.
part because you went to the bathroom.
Damn it.
But they show the
Oh,
Ravagers. They
that's
showed
right.
Steven.
Even that was a real quick scene, though.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone has a cameo in this movie, which I heard about months ago. I heard about actually on April Fool's Day, and they said Stallone is in this movie, and I'm going, this is an April Fool's Day prank, right?
Yeah,
Stallone is
why-
in Guardians of the Galaxy,
The fuck would he be doing in this? Like,
and they said that he was, oh god, Stallone was Galactus, the Eater of Worlds, and I can't remember who they said was a Silver Surfer.
what?
And I immediately said, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's an April Fool's Day prank. Those two characters are part of the Fantastic Four universe owned by Fox, and Fox is like, fuck you, Marvel Studios. We're not giving you shit back.
I thought Galantis was going to be in these ones.
No.
though. No?
Thanos is.
Thanos.
Galactus
Okay,
is,
that.
Yeah.
I always mix them up.
Yeah, Galactus is part of the Fantastic Four universe, which is owned by, the properties are owned by Fox right now. So
That's right.
yeah, so when I hear Stallone's going to be Galactus, I'm like, oh god, this better be a prank.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Because I can't picture Galactus showing up and I'm gonna eat your world real quick. Like, I mean, just Adrian, like, no, I don't want to
With
hear
his
I don't
lazy
wanna hear
eyes,
Galactus-
like-
yeah, I don't want to hear Galactus talk with the shitty Stallone impression I just did.
That was pretty bad.
It was bad, but it's charming. It's
If you say so.
it's charming in how bad it was. Fuck you. I don't do impressions. Fuck you. It's an audio podcast.
I know.
But anyway, like, so I heard Stallone's in this movie, and I'm going, no, this is a prank. It's got to be a prank. And then Stallone fucking showed up for 6 minutes, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh no, you gave him just the right amount of time. Mm-hmm. But during his cameo,
Little cameo at the front, little cameo at the end.
right? But I mean, he comes in. He's the leader of the Ravagers, and he's there long enough to tell Yondu, no, you betrayed us. You've been exiled. Don't ever, we better never see your face again or we'll kill you.
I did miss that.
Yeah, and it was a real quick, like, it gave you just a little bit more of Yondu's backstory. Just let you know who Yondu is, and that's why Yondu's out on his own. He's doing what he wants. He's not beholden to the other Ravagers because he's been exiled.
We also left out the part where Ego is having Yondu bring babies from these different species to him.
Bringing back all of his children.
Yeah, bring back all of his children so that he can see if his celestial genes have been passed on. And Yondu kept him. And he never knew why. He always told him it was because he was good. He was small, so he was good to fit in the small spaces that nobody else could fit in.
Good for thieving.
Mm-hmm. Turns out.
Yeah, Yondu. That was okay. That was the only just really heavy-hearted part of this movie. Is you just think of Yondu as this self-serving pirate, thief, criminal, and he told Peter, he's like, I kidnapped you from Earth because you were skinny, you were small, you could fit into places that big people couldn't. It was good for thieving. Mm-hmm. And as we find out, Yondu kept Peter because he knew that Ego was eating these children. Mm-hmm. He was killing them. And he took a liking to Peter, and he's like, no, I can't turn this kid over. Mm-hmm. And right there you're like, God damn it. Yondu's a likable guy. Shit.
Yondu's likable. Yondu has a heart. He's not just an asshole like in the first one.
Right. And so, I mean, and it comes full circle when you have this, the planet's being destroyed, everyone's on the evac ship except Peter. And even Gamora's like, no, we're not leaving him behind. And she's about to go get Peter when Rocket tasers her in the back. Mm-hmm. And Rocket, tear in his eye, goes, I can't lose more than one friend today.
It was so sad.
It was very sad, but at the same time, you're going like, Rocket, who's been an asshole this whole movie, says, no, I'm not losing you too. Mm-hmm. And we're thinking Peter's going to die. And all of a sudden, here comes Yondu.
Who only has one.
He's got one jetpack, one spacesuit. And so he grabs Peter. Yondu's wearing the jetpack. He grabs Peter. They take off. He puts the spacesuit on Peter. Mm-hmm. And they get up in the atmosphere, and Yondu suffocates.
It was so sad.
It was really sad.
I was doing my best to blink back tears and not fucking bawl because we were in this packed movie theater. If it would have been empty, I wouldn't have given a shit. Would have cried for Yondu. It was so sad. He just watched he had to watch his mom die. He just watched his shitty ass dad die, and then he finds out. Oh, he says, Ego might have been your father, but I was your daddy. And oh my god, it just rips your heart out.
I don't know if anybody could have pulled that line off besides Michael Rooker.
Right?
Rooker is such a fantastic fucking actor.
He was great in this movie. Phenomenal.
And I mean, Rooker's good in anything.
He is.
I mean, Rooker,
but he really did a good job.
We went
he
to go
was a versatile
We went to go see the
character.
Belko Experiment last month, another James Gunn movie, and Michael Rooker's in that movie, and he
Oh
does.
yeah, shit, he was.
Yeah,
Two of the same guys
he
were
was
in that.
he was the maintenance guy.
That's right.
And
how did I forget that?
yeah, he got like 15 minutes, and he's dead.
That's
and they kind of
right.
gave him a bitch death. He just accidentally shot in the head.
No. The first guy kills him. Remember?
Right, but it was an accident. Like he didn't mean to. And so, yeah, that's how bad. Don't see the Belko Experiment, guys.
It was bad. We'd been drinking. It's just murder porn. That's
yeah,
about it.
if you have to see one James Gunn movie, this is it. Like, don't go see Belko Experiment. It's really bad.
Unless
but anyway,
you get off on gore. That's
yeah,
about it.
Rooker was great in that. Rooker's great in The Walking Dead. Rooker's great
Fuck yeah.
in, if you've ever seen JFK, he plays one of the assistant DAs in that.
Ooh.
And he's probably most famous for this movie called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Ooh.
And it is a fucking great movie. Rooker is just an amazing actor. And I'm going to tell you this right now, super nice guy.
That's awesome.
I got to meet him at right after,
I'm jealous.
right before the first Guardians came out. He was at
cool.
Stan Lee's LA
Promoting
Comic-Con.
that.
Yeah, he was.
That's awesome.
He's at Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con. It hadn't been released that he was Yondu yet, and he's walking around promoting Walking Dead.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, I might have a spot in this Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And he takes his hat off and he has shaved his head into a mohawk.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Rooker is the shit. I have a picture with him.
I matched with Rooker.
Yes, I have a picture with Michael Rooker that I have to crop my ex-girlfriend out of. And but he's such a nice guy, such a super sweet dude.
I love that my little brother came in and was like, oh my god, you look like Yondu. You both have red mohawks.
I thought the same thing. I just didn't say it.
It was pretty awesome.
I was like, you need to do like a gender swapped Yondu cosplay.
That'd be dope. That'd be
shit.
dope. Just turn myself blue, and then I've already got the red mohawk. That'd be awesome.
But so
the arrow.
So we lose Yondu. We lost Michael Rooker, and
Broke my heart.
but right before we started recording this, we're going through a couple of IMDb pages, and Yondu is in the credits for Avengers: Infinity War.
So we don't know if it's going to be that he's actually in the movie, or they're just looking back on the past movies.
Yeah, if we don't know if it'll be a flashback, or God, don't bring him back as a ghost.
That, or just some bullshit. Oh, we didn't actually incinerate him like we showed you. This happened instead. Like, what? If you were gonna do that, you wouldn't have shown him getting incinerated.
If you bring him back as anything but a flashback, or
make it really good.
it's gonna take away from his death.
Yeah.
It's going to, I hate that.
I didn't think they were actually gonna kill him in the first place. So when they did, that's what really caught me off guard.
Right, and I mean, he had a Walking Dead death.
He did. He
He
did.
really
He
did.
went out like a badass. He was really selfless at the end.
There are so many characters in The Walking Dead that you hated, but in their
When they go out, it makes you love them.
right, they're totally redeemed. I mean, you have Merle, you had
Yes.
Lori, you had oh my God, I'm trying to think of who
I
else.
hated Lori.
But they did give her some redemption.
Yes.
Yeah, they gave her some redemption during her death scene. Andrea, Andrea was just fucking retarded for the majority of the series. And then her death scene, gave her this just redemption. And so Yondu gets this total Walking Dead death, which is he's been a dick this whole time. But then they give you that redemption, and when he says the line, "Ego might have been your father, but I was your daddy,"
Mm-hmm.
and he's got to end every sentence with "boy." That's a Michael Rooker trait.
Right.
I was your daddy, boy. And that's it's just a Rooker trait now, no matter who he plays.
I love it.
All of his characters are Southern. It's awesome.
They are.
And
He's
so,
maybe from space, but he's
yeah,
Southern.
Exactly. He's blue with a mechanical mohawk, but he's got a Southern accent.
And he's fucking awesome, and you
Right,
love it, and
Rooker's-
you don't question
Michael Rooker's
any of
just
it.
the shit. He posts. Okay, so
I love his swap in mohawks too.
he.
That was awesome. Then that's when we really match.
So the best Yondu joke in the whole movie is the Mary Poppins joke.
Yes. Oh my god.
So if we remember from the first movie, Yondu has his arrow that he controls through a whistle, apparently, and oh god, what was the explosion? Yondu's ship gets destroyed.
Okay.
And here comes Peter and here comes Yondu just floating out of this cloud of debris. And Yondu's holding on to his arrow.
Yeah.
And he's just slowly just descending like Mary Poppins in the umbrella.
Yeah.
And Peter looks up at him and goes, "You look like Mary Poppins." Well, I don't know who that is. Is he cool? And Peter just looks at him like, "Serious?" "Yeah, Yondu. He's cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
It was awesome.
And because
He's so enthusiastic and happy
so
about
thrilled
it.
to be Mary Poppins.
It's adorable.
And then today on Instagram, Michael Rooker posts a picture of himself with half his face covered with the Mary Poppins book, which nobody
And
who's
captions, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
So if you
Nobody
haven't
who's
seen
seen
the
the movie is gonna get that joke.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic because I had just seen the movie. I see Rooker with half his face covered with the Mary Poppins book, and I'm just like, I died laughing. I'm just like, that is a Rooker thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Guardians of the Galaxy. And so, I mean, what do you think as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe? How does this fit
It
in?
looked phenomenal. They really stepped up their game with the graphics. I liked the way that
This movie was very CGI heavy.
yes, it was. But it looked really good. I didn't feel like it was corny or too much. I like the contrast that they have between the characters. The only one that has any CGI there's Groot and there's Rocket, but everybody else, all of their character is they do it by hand. It's paint, it's makeup, it's wigs,
yes,
it's all aesthetic. It's not computerized, and I liked that. It makes them feel a lot more realistic. When you have all this other CGI stuff going on, it makes it. I don't know. I really like the way that it fit together.
It was a very good balance of CGI and practical effects.
Exactly, I liked that.
And
Which also makes it easier to cosplay because it's actually more fucking realistic.
you're like, oh, those people did it, which means it can be done.
Exactly.
I thought, see, for me, Guardians is still kind of an outlier. It doesn't feel like the Marvel Cinematic Universe for me yet.
Not yet.
Because, I mean, you have your Iron Man, you have your
You're
Hulk, your Thor, your Captain America, your Doctor Strange, Spider-Man's just
the
got...
ones that everyone knows, everyone has seen, anybody can talk about.
Right.
There's still a lot of people that haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy. They don't know anything about it.
And admittedly...
They're not even intrigued because they don't understand it yet.
Admittedly, I've never read a Guardians of the Galaxy comic. I've never once. I'm a giant comic book nerd. Guardians just didn't seem like anything I'd really get into. Especially Rocket. I couldn't...
It's a very unlikely, lovable character.
Right. He's the... It's
Asshole comic relief.
It's one of those characters you're like, this is a machine gun toting raccoon.
Like robot raccoon.
Right. How are you going to make me interested?
Yeah.
And James Gunn in the MCU did a great job. I mean, and Bradley Cooper, who's the voice of Rocket. And
Oh, that's who. Oh.
yeah, it's Bradley Cooper.
Shit, I love Bradley Cooper. I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, it's him doing the voice.
He's good at being an asshole too.
And
Makes sense why they
he
cast
is,
him.
yeah. Bradley Cooper's a fantastic asshole. I
Did
mean,
they
look at Wedding
still pay
Crashers.
Vin Diesel to say I am Groot and then make it sound like it's a baby saying that instead?
Vin Diesel was in the opening credits.
Oh my
so
god.
I can't
So
imagine.
they got paid for something.
Right.
Oh
Well,
my
I mean,
God.
if you look at it, I'm sure all the entire cast signed multi-picture deals.
Oh yeah.
So-
he's like, I'm only gonna do this if I'm getting paid for both.
Right.
To say I am Groot in different ways, and then they just vary at them.
Hey, think about it. He gets to go to set in sweats and a hoodie.
He got to go to set once
He's
for like
got
an hour.
one line. He has to say it in different intonations and different.
He's done. He gets to check out, get paid,
Yeah,
and go do whatever the fuck he
and get
wants.
paid just as much as Chris Pratt. I bet you.
Probably no. I doubt that. Chris
It's Vin
Pratt.
Diesel.
It's Vin Diesel, but look at all the filming Chris Pratt had to do.
Right. No, I know that, but I mean, look at Vin
He
Diesel's
got a good
agent.
chunk. He got a good chunk.
Yeah, look at Vin Diesel's body of work up to this point.
Can't believe they made 8 of those pieces of shit. God damn. The first like 2.
The
were
plan is
okay.
for 10.
Oh my
They
god.
are going to they're shooting for 10 Fast and Fucktarded movies. That's yeah. So what are we 8 now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I mean, but
want more Chris Pratt movies.
the only movie franchise I can think of that has gone this long with that many movies is Friday the 13th, and Jason was in space by this point.
Or the Bond movies. How many are there? There's a good amount. My dad has the.
There's a ton of Bond movies.
He's got the box collection. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and there's 5 James Bonds.
Oh, there's more than that. There's at least.
Sean Connery, Roger Moore. Oh, there's always Dalton, Timothy Dalton. I want to say I know I'm forgetting one in between Dalton and Roger Moore.
And then there's I don't know who the very new guy is. I like him.
Well, they have Pierce Brosnan
Mm-hmm.
and the new guy, James Blonde. That's what they're calling him. They're calling him James Blonde because people were pissed that James Bond was
A blonde instead
yeah.
of a brunette. Oh, fuck off. He was really good. His hair color.
And
he didn't look good as that. I don't feel like that hair color suits him at all.
the dark.
The dark on him would just look retarded.
See, and I mean, you can't, obviously Connery's the best. You can't touch Connery. But Pierce Brosnan
Connery's
was,
a classic.
Yeah. Pierce Brosnan was, I think, my favorite Bond.
Nice.
Just because it's Pierce Brosnan and he's smooth as shit.
We're getting totally sidetracked.
Oh, we're totally off the rails.
We're great at this.
Yes. But, no, but I mean, yeah, I mean, just Vin Diesel has this giant body of work. He's not taking any less than 7 digits, 7 figures on for, I am Groot. So, yeah, he got to go to set in sweats, a hoodie, probably unshaven, said I am Groot like 8 or 9 times, collected his check and split.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, you can't fault him for that.
Do we want to go over the ending clips?
Yeah,
God, they make you wait for fucking ever.
no, they've smartened up because phase 1 were all post-credit scenes. So you sat through your credits to see where this was going.
Mm-hmm.
And they started doing one scene like right before the credits, one scene after.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've evolved to one right before the
This
credits.
one has like 4.
One right before,
Goddamn.
right in the middle, right at the end. And
Because there was the golden girl, the guy
well,
playing with
okay.
the arrow,
Okay,
trying to make it.
So the first one was the Adam Warlock, right?
No.
No, it
that
was-
like the 3rd or 4th one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Holy shit! There was a
Oh.
lot of post-credit scenes in this.
Yeah, there was the funny one with Yondu's buddy from the Ravagers who they had fixed the arrow that he used, and he had his mohawk and he had the arrow and he was whistling and trying to practice and fucking around with that, and then it goes around the corner and
It's Drax
he
in the
fucking
chest.
hits Drax and Drax starts screaming and freaking out, which was awesome.
I love the fact that he totally oversold the arrow.
Oh my god.
Now this is Drax. We just saw him at the beginning of the movie get eaten by this giant squid thing.
He jumps into his mouth.
We've
try to
seen
cut it from
Drax
the
get
inside.
blown up. We've seen Drax get shot.
He hit every tree in a forest
We've
going
seen
through a
Drax
crash.
get
Like,
the piss kicked out of him,
but
and he
it
just
did
kind
go
of
like right.
and he just kind of gets up and laughs it off.
Yeah.
And then
That
this-
was a good day. Like,
And then this arrow hits him in the chest, and you just hear this screaming.
It was fucking great.
That's what. Okay, that made it funny. He totally just oversold this arrow, and I'm dying. I'm crying with laughter. It was the. Speaking of Family Guy overselling a joke, it was the like Peter bangs his shin and
Yeah, just kinda
for
over
like 2 minutes straight. That was funny. I'll give you that. I don't need to see it more than once every like 2 or 3 years, but that's exactly how Drax played this. He just oversold this arrow. So we got that scene, and then we got the Adam Warlock scene,
which was cool.
Okay.
You've got the Golden Girl, and she wanted to make, because they have their birthing pods that they create their new.
This species is completely genetically modified.
Yes.
Everybody is genetically designed for their task in life.
Yes, and they want to be the most beautiful, smart, evolved people and species in all of the galaxy. And so they've created this new birthing pod, and it turns out that that's where Adam Warlock comes in. And I'm super excited for this part.
Now, to be fair, I have no fucking clue who Adam Warlock is.
And I do. So I feel like a fucking badass right now. Because I know shit that he doesn't know. And I've seen his comic collection.
It's
I know how big of a nerd he is.
The fact that I've ever had sex shocks the shit out of me. That's how big of a nerd I am. But,
so this is a win for me.
Yes, and so I have no idea who Adam Warlock is.
I will teach you.
Yes, and so, but I mean, so this is okay. This is the part that kind of bugged me, because the post-credit scenes on this movie, before the Adam Warlock, I didn't think they led anywhere.
I remembered what the other one was.
What was the other one?
It's Stan Lee.
Oh, right,
and
the Watcher.
The Watchers.
Okay, but my point being that every Marvel movie had a post-credit scene that led into the next movie.
Yes, or it was connected or something.
It was connected down the road. It was going to pay off. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there going, okay, these are cool, but
where are they going?
Right, there's nothing here.
Yeah, there's nothing led anywhere. Besides, there was Adam, and then the other ones were just funny.
Right, and so at least the Adam Warlock scene. So we're gonna get Adam Warlock down the line.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know if it's Avengers: Infinity War or if it's just the next Guardians movie. Mm-hmm. But Adam Warlock is, planned for down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's gonna be awesome.
Now the one I like the Stan Lee one.
The scene itself, I thought was kind of lame, but if you know about the
Watchers,
the back scene and the Watchers and everything, it's really cool and it makes sense and it ties everything together. But the scene itself is kind of boring. So a lot of people were like, and it's the last one.
All right. This actually started out as a fan theory. This started out
and then they actually put it...
Okay, so I don't know what happened first, though. So the fan theory that's been floating around for a couple of years is that all of Stan Lee's cameos in all the Marvel movies, all the Fantastic Four movies, all the Fox movies, any Marvel property movie, Stan Lee's had a cameo in. Mm-hmm. He's had... Do you know they did a Stan Lee picture in the background of Daredevil?
That's cool.
Yeah, Matt Murdock goes into the police station. He's talking to the shift commander, whatever he is, and there's a picture of Stan Lee in uniform in the back. So they got a Stan Lee cameo in Daredevil on Netflix.
Nice.
And I've seen a bunch of internet articles. Take that for what it's worth. And they are stringing together all of the Stan Lee cameos from all of these movies. So then the theory starts floating around that it's the same person. Mm-hmm. Okay, so... And the theory is that he's one of the Watchers.
Because that would explain why he can be in all these different universes.
Right. And so I don't know if they... Kevin Feige, who is one of the CEOs for Marvel, and is also the producer on this movie... I don't know if he decided that, screw it, we're going to... It's a cool fan theory. We're going to make Stan Lee a Watcher.
That would have been cool if they went with that.
Right, and so they wrote it into a post-credit scene. You have Stan Lee in a spacesuit talking to 3 other Watchers, and he's telling them all these stories. And this time, I was a security guard, and somebody stole Captain America's suit, and he's giving he's regaling them of stories of all of these cameos.
Because they'd had a short moment in earlier in the movie where they were jumping from worlds to world, and that's where you see him, and that's why they bring him back at the end.
Right, and so I laughed at the Stan Lee cameo because I knew the fan theory. Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
But if you don't know it,
right,
it's kind of like, okay, this scene's kind of a flop.
Which
but it's really 95% cool
of that theater
no,
didn't get it.
No, they were just people there to see the movie because it looked funny, and there were a bunch of kids, a fuck ton of kids. Goddamn.
Right, and it's like telling people who've never seen South Park about Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "The fuck are you talking about?
And that's
You're
exactly,
a weirdo."
That's exactly how this joke landed. It was just like everyone's just, all right, what the shit was that?
Whatever. I'm just gonna forget that now.
So, but yeah, I mean that's Guardians, and
I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I'm gonna own this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My
part
vast
of the
collection of DVDs.
I really enjoyed it. As for a sequel, they definitely could have done worse. They could have done a little bit better, but I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And so, I mean, that's it for Guardians.
We're gonna go rewatch the first one now.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna go. When we finish recording this, it's on FX right now. So we're gonna watch the first movie. What do we got coming up next?
Aliens.
We got Alien Covenant coming up in 2 weeks. We've got
right before my birthday. Oh no! Right before my birthday, we have Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean comes out the 25th, right?
26th.
26th.
And then 25th is my birthday.
Yes.
And then what is it? The 2nd? Or when does Wonder Woman come out?
June 2nd.
June 2nd. Okay, yeah. Woo!
So, folks, you're probably not going to be. We're not going to be doing this like a month apart.
No.
There's a lot of shit coming out.
Yeah, it's summer. We don't have time to do this shit a month apart.
Right, and
we'd
then
be way too behind.
Yeah, and we had this idea so that the beginning of the month we're going to review all the trailers for the movies that are coming out this month, stuff we want to see.
And at the end of the month, we'll review all the stuff that we actually went and saw.
Exactly.
Because we're both very busy people, so we don't have time to do a whole shit ton of these things, but we want to cover everything for everybody.
Right, and so, but we want to do these shows. We really enjoy doing these shows.
We do. They're a lot of fun.
And so, yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you guys for joining us. Catherine, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And if any of you would like to follow Catherine and her modeling career that is just now starting out, you can go to Instagram and look up Hellcat_model and follow her. You're at 135?
Oh, no, I'm at 170.
Excuse me. Motherfucker, I'm 170. What are you talking about? 135. That was last week. So, yeah, go follow her and all of her shoots. She just came back from Malibu.
Malibu is awesome.
She did a beach shoot.
I have 4 or 5 sets that I'm going to be getting to you guys soon, so I will have a lot of shit to show you.
And so, Malibu, you did the bikini shoot.
Yes. Me and my friend Danny, so we're both gorgeous girls. We did separate ones. We did one together, so that one's really cute.
You have the Broken Doll set from Monsterpalooza.
Yes, I have my creepy doll. I have my possessed nun. I have a pinup set. I have a Wasteland Mad Max shoot that I did that was kick-ass in the desert. I've got a lot of stuff to show you.
Yeah, so if you'd like to follow her, definitely follow her. That is, yeah, she is definitely the beauty in this combo. So it is Hellcat it's Hellcat_model on Instagram. It is just at Hellcat Model on Twitter. And you don't have a Facebook yet, right?
No, I'm making it right now.
Okay. So
got to get my sets done so I can have them on there.
Right. So the next show we will have her Facebook too, so you can follow her in her modeling career.
Thank you.
If you give a shit about me, because she's definitely better looking than me. Sorry, folks. I'm wrestling for Vendetta Pro Wrestling.
But he's good, though.
I'm wrestling for Vendetta Pro on the 20th of this month in Santa Maria at the Radisson Square Garden.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that one. The 20th?
It's the 20th.
Okay.
Yes. And then I am wrestling for Sencal Pro Wrestling June 4th.
Sunday, yeah.
Down in San Luis Obispo, down at the Graduate. So you can check me out at Game Changer Greg on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. See me get my ass beat. I make it look really fun.
Hey, you won in Vegas.
We,
You went
okay.
over on the big guy.
That's why we haven't done these in a month, folks. We have like a
We have
shit
too much to
ton-
catch up on. We
Right.
need to do.
I just wrestled in Vegas at the Cauliflower Rally Club, 52nd annual Cauliflower Rally Club. It was a huge honor to open the show. I was in there with Brian Sledge Campbell,
It was a great match.
and it was a lot of fun. We kicked the piss out of each other as only two friends can do, and he kicked me right in the goddamn mouth, split my damn
Big
lip.
old boots.
Have you ever tried to drink a Jack and Coke with a split lip? That shit sucks. But it's what we do. That's, yeah. So, check me out on Instagram. Check me out on Facebook, at Game Changer Greg, Twitter. And please go check her out at Hellcat_model on Instagram.
We'll have lots more of these podcasts for you
And
soon.
yeah, we're going to do these a lot more. So, problem
Fun.
is doing a month apart, I keep forgetting how my goddamn equipment works.
He's real smart.
It took me 20 minutes to go, shit, how do I do this again? Okay. Oh, damn, it's not plugged in. Fuck. So, all right,
He'll
folks.
get it eventually.
Yeah. We do this. I'll do this more often. So I'll get good. I'm sorry. So, all right, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time with Aliens